Boom! Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In this video I'm showing you my 30 days of 3D pen progress. First thing first, I got this intelligent 3D pen for 30 quid. In the box I got some filaments, stencils, a charger and instructions. I started by making the easiest thing there was on the free stencils, a pair of glasses. In the beginning I learned that there are different types of filaments, such as ABS, PLA and PLC. However, in this video I only used PLA as it was included in the box. Other things I could set were changing the temperature the filament melts and the speed you want the filament to come out. I started by using the slowest speed at first, as it was easier to control when drawing with a pen. I underestimated how difficult using a 3D pen was, as it was extremely hard to flawlessly move my hand and follow the guidelines. It was hard to control and had to keep moving, since once the filament comes out, it doesn't stop, and if you do want to stop it, it takes some time to come out again. And here's my sunglasses finished. Though I believe one of the most difficult things to do when using a 3D pen is connecting pieces together. I think that nearly every time I created something, I was struggling with that part. As you can see, I'm now making a horrible pickup truck. I'm not even gonna comment on it. And the key thing about using a 3D pen is patience. It takes freaking hours to make an arguably easy object, and I assure you, your hands will hurt after doing it for 1 to 2 hours consecutively. I decided to make the Eiffel Tower, as it is one of the most popular beginners objects to do on a 3D pen. Everything seemed to go well and pretty fast, as there was no stuff to fill in. However, when it came to attaching all the pieces, I wasted an absurd amount of time. It took me about 2 hours to finish the Eiffel Tower, and I spent more than an hour just connecting the pieces. The final result was okay. I mean, the tower is not straight. I think if Salvador Dali was using a 3D pen, all his sculptures would be distorted like my tower here. Anyway, I kept making things like this aeroplane. I think this time I managed to connect the pieces pretty well, as I was getting better at controlling my hand. At least here it doesn't look so twisted like the Eiffel Tower. And even though I only used one color throughout, it was a decent plane. I then decided to make another more sustainable mode of transport, and so I started making a bicycle. This time I was pretty confident and I didn't have any major problem while assembling this. I guess it was also a pretty easy one to make. Here's the final result. I managed to make a little stand for it as well. Since I was getting better, I started making anything I could find, like this butterfly, pretty horrible origami-like swan, this giraffe, and this lovely room for 20 house. Not actually my house though. I really liked using transparent filament here, because you can see through it, and if you place a light inside, I bet it will look pretty cool. At this point I realized that anyway a 3D pen is not meant to make super high quality things, but rather make quick 3D sketches and structures with straight lines and space. Of course without considering Sanago. So at this time I thought, can I actually use this medium to fix things around my house? So the first thing that came to mind was my laptop case. I started to create the rubber feet I lost years ago and replaced them with filaments. It was pretty cool and it worked. I would recommend using some super glue to make the filaments stick to the case properly, as after a couple of weeks they pretty much came off from the case. Then I made an iPhone cover by tracing around it. I didn't properly plan it and forgot to leave some space for the charging port. Anyways, they look pretty cool to see and it sort of worked. Along with that, I started making a pretty straightforward phone stand. I think this one looks like 2 mustaches attached, but yeah, it works and it's useful too. I then tried to make my own thing and made this outline of a cat on Illustrator and filled it in with the 3D pen. I think it looks quite cool, even though I don't know what I could use it for. Perhaps some sort of sticker or a design for a magnet. I decided that it was time to find some complex things to make. So after practicing a bit more by making this fairy tale like bench, fixing my tripod and making this super fun to do keyrings for some of my friends, I found this T-Rex skeleton stencil and started working on it. There were a lot of tiny pieces to make and that was fine. What I was expecting though was connecting all those pieces together on the spine of the skeleton. I'd say this was a pretty hard thing to do, but in the end I managed to do it. If you want to try to use a 3D pen, I recommend to buy a thinner pen like the 3Doodler for example, because when I was using my pen I realized that you can't easily see the tip, which is the most important part of the pen. So anything thinner than that will be much better to use, believe me. and here's my final result. Then I thought I need to make a big final piece for the ending of this video. So since we haven't seen Queen Elizabeth Tower, also known as the Big Ben, in several years, I thought, why not make it with a 3D pen for you guys to see? So jokes apart, I found stencils and started filling in the first base of the structure. I then continued with the outside part of the tower to show the grid-like design that's on the front, starting from the bottom pieces and finishing at the top of the tower. Then I moved on to attaching the first layer of the tower by using some tape to help me get a straight structure and attach the pieces more easily. Then I got the second structure up. It was much easier to get the second layer on the base. I also realized that some of the pieces were a bit too big, but it was too late to change them, so I continued to make the outside part. And in some areas I had to draw them manually. I was now working on the top of the tower, and finally the last thing to do was to attach the clocks. Something I didn't actually do because it was too hard to place them, so I drew them manually, and here's my final result. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more videos to come. Bye!